You're flying out of Newark? Good luck. It's a mess. People are talking about how it's unsafe. There's no air traffic controllers. There's a radio and radar disruption. And at best, there will be a delay. At worst, I'm going to die.
Which is the fact that they were Philadelphia-based, but controlling the traffic over 100 miles away in Newark. Now, what's going on there? I don't know how it would attract more air traffic controllers.
Ooh, I get to go to Philly now.
Those guys love cheesesteaks.
I guess.
They love throwing batteries at athletes from other cities.
I learned that they are also not allowed to be on SSRIs at all.
That's good. I like my air traffic controller just white knuckling depression.
See, now if I'm Sean Duffy, I'm calling up the bigwigs in Hollywood and I'm saying, we need a movie about how sexy air traffic
Honestly,
control can be.
I bet we have the data. How many people signed up to be a air traffic controller after they saw
John Cusack?
John Cusack.
Probably not. I doubt that many.
Okay,
I considered it.
We crunched the numbers. It turns out it didn't move the needle. Is that real? Something happened.
Tabata-man! 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 Ooh, grommets! Jeez! What's so funny?
That's really good.
What?
That's a really good Wallace.
Oh, man. Beep heads are about to get fed.
The beep heads always
do
get
be
fed.
eating
That
well.
is,
Let
let them have it.
And we're back. It feels like we've been gone for so long, and in many ways we have.
It really
do be feeling that way.
It really do be feeling that way.
Man, oh man. Austin, you were awesome.
Yeah, more like awesome Texas.
More like awesome Texas.
Two great shows, really fun crowds. We loved every second of it.
We do. Man, you and I both have those little wiry, single, one-off white hairs, don't we?
He's always got a way of making me self-conscious about something I didn't know.
You know that you have those?
Wiry white hairs?
Yeah, you don't see your own wiry white hairs sticking out?
This sucks.
Man, what's it like to never have to check your scalp for dandruff? Jeez.
That's nice.
Well, Denver, there's still time for you because...
Oh, yeah, Denver. We're coming to you.
Mm-hmm.
Comedy Works.
C-U-M-M.
June 1st. What?
I said C-U-M-M coming.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably... We're going to take a little break from touring for a bit after that. So
it's going to be the last time you'll ever get to see us.
No, that's not true. We're going to go back
Denver.
out, but we're going to be... We're tired little boys. And we're going to need a little break from the road.
I gotta go to Denver. Is that a Sunday?
I don't know the day. I don't know the day.
I think
of the
it's
week.
God's day. I do believe that is Sunday, June 1st. And then straight after that, I get to come home again and then leave again 2 weeks later to go to a wedding in
New Jersey,
which means I'll be landing at
Newark Airport,
which is all about part of what this episode is all about. The do it be safe to fly. Don't know. We'll find out. I guess you'll have to tune in and stay there. Well, hey, gang, guess what? Big news for the bonus episodes for benandemilshow.com.
Oh, this is big news.
Big news. So, gang, guess what? We're bringing back the free trial. But instead of a month, it's just 7 days. You get free 7-day trial. You go on benandemilshow.com. And hey, while you're here, why not leave us a comment?
And that's for everyone. You can go on right now. You'll get a free trial.
Yeah.
For benandemilshow.com.
You're gonna love it. We talked to last week's bonus episode was
getting a lot of rave reviews.
One for the record.
I will say it's a Hall of Fame episode. We broke down one of our favorite
influencers
and a lot of you guys are probably familiar with him, and I think you're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah. We talked a little shit. Not gonna
No,
lie.
we didn't.
Yeah,
friend of the show.
It was it was friendly shit talking.
We're big fans.
Yeah, but hey, Emil, guess what today is?
The 13th.
Try again.
Of May.
Keep going. Episodic wise. Oh, I forgot to get champagne. Fuck. I had one job. I had one.
You didn't get the champagne?
I had one job to do. Get the champagne.
I feel like your wife and I'm just trying to hold it in and not resent you for this.
I mean, I was the only one who was going to drink it anyway. Let's be honest.
Why?
Because you're not going to drink champagne.
Remember the last time? I think it was on the 50th episode. I drank a lot of the champagne and I ended up throwing a cork at your neck.
Was that here or was that at Dylan's?
No. This was at TMG.
Oh, right.
We were in dresses, I believe.
Yeah. Oh,
And
that's right.
I
We
nailed
did a
you
prom.
I nailed you in the neck with a cork.
Yeah, that was fun. Well, so maybe I'll run out and grab a bottle of champagne for the bonus episode. But in this week's bonus, we're going to be reminiscing about our favorite moments from the first 100 episodes. So be sure to go
Tune into that.
sign up. And I'm still, I don't know if I don't think I'm sick, but I definitely feel.
I think we're just a little bit
tired.
weary from the road.
Yeah. Have you been dizzy at all?
Yeah.
Oh, are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell if you're lying to me.
No, I'm so dizzy, babe.
And hey, guys, why not give this video a quick like and leave a comment? It really helps us out. And thank you.
Thank you, babies.
So, hey, are you an airplane? Because, boy,
Because I'd be falling for you.
yeah, these airplanes, it's not. At first, when I heard about
Look,
this,
a lot of people go, what is this show even? Look, a lot of times we're a business and finance show, but most of all, we're an airplane show. Okay?
above all else.
And now we'd like to kick it to the Ben and Emil Show airplane correspondent. Ben?
I like them. I like them big. I like them small. I like them long. I like them short.
And when we've got a perfect convergence of Ben and Emil Show topics, New Jersey and airplanes.
Oh my
Whew,
God.
boy.
Wow, you're right. So,
Full disclosure.
What?
I flew out of Newark very recently.
What day was it? What was the day?
That was probably May 4th. So it was after the first, we'll get into it all. It was after the first disruption. I didn't even know about it. That is one of the nice things about travel. It's impossible to keep up with everything. And the reason I flew out of Newark was because I wanted to see a bunch of friends in New Jersey. I went to my friend's daughter's first birthday. Saw a bunch of old friends. It was great. And I had my suitcase with me. So people were like, what, are you flying? And I was like, yeah, I got to head to Newark after this. And everyone was going, you're flying out of Newark? I was like, yeah, why? What's the... And they were like, good luck. It's a mess. And I got really scared. I started looking up all this and I was like, oh my God. People are talking about how it's unsafe. There's no air traffic controllers. There's a radio and radar disruption. And at best, there will be a delay. At worst, I'm going to die. Was my understanding.
Yeah.
I mean... And there was a delay, but I made it home.
How long was the delay?
It actually wasn't that bad. It was not that bad. Maybe because my expectations were on the ground. It was either die or delay, and I was quite smitten with the delay.
Isn't it so funny and fucked up about air travel is that you're like, I gotta get where I need to go, but it is a little risky. And like, I could die a fiery, graphic, upsetting, disturbing, painful, traumatic death.
I didn't quite know.
But I also gotta get home.
I didn't quite know.
Severity?
Yeah, it was hard to... I was seeing a bunch of people I hadn't seen in a long time, and I was like halfway like, that doesn't seem good, but you know.
Yeah, the more... when I first heard about it, I just kind of shrugged it off as like, oh yeah, you know, they had a blackout, happens, and they'll recover from it, and it'll all be fine. But the more I was reading into this last night, the more my leg was just shaking.
Oh yeah.
Because I was just reading so much, and I was like, oh man, this isn't very good.
No.
So where do we start? Well, I think a good place to begin would be April 28th. Picture this. All air traffic control went out for a whopping 90 seconds. We're talking radar, we're talking radio comms, everything. And 90 seconds is a long-ass time when you're flying an airplane several hundred miles an hour. So
that has to land at that airport,
yeah,
and
no
you
kidding.
literally cannot even talk to the people.
Planes had to fly in holding patterns. They had to divert to other airports. Incoming and outgoing flights were delayed or full-on canceled. And then 4 air traffic controllers who were overseeing all of this mayhem ended up having to take paid leave for trauma. Which only compounds the problem.
Heart palpitations.
Oh yeah, panic attacks. And when you get which only, like I said, it only compounds the problem, which is that they're short-staffed. So short-staffed even more because the existing people who are worked to the bone are freaking out. They get up to 45 days off when they
Short-staffed is an
trauma.
understatement. I mean, this is from the New York Times. Newark Airport, this is the headline. Newark Airport had 3 controllers on duty when the goal is 14. And that even seems like that was the not as low as it. That doesn't seem correct. The FAA said in a statement to the New York Times that it had at least 3 controllers scheduled every hour on Monday evening at a Philadelphia facility that managed Newark's air traffic. But 4 people familiar with problems at the airport said that number of fully certified controllers on duty was at times 1 or 2.
And you just said something, friend of friends, that the sharp listener may have caught, which is the fact that they were Philadelphia-based, but controlling the traffic over 100 miles away in Newark. Now, what's going on there? Well, the FAA had the genius idea to shift Newark's air traffic control from Long Island to Philadelphia last year in hopes of attracting, I don't know how it would attract more air traffic controllers.
I get to go to Philly now.
Those guys love cheesesteaks.
I guess.
They love throwing batteries at athletes from other cities.
So apparently
racism.
That facility in Philadelphia sucks ass, according to people who work there. It's not a legitimate setup. Its radar is on a relay from the primary facility over 100 miles away on Long Island. So basically, these guys are doing air traffic control like by wire. They're not. It used to be that they were in the same room as the same ATC that controls LaGuardia. So when they needed to coordinate things, it could happen in an instant. But now, as we're starting to see happen, because they're only communicating like over the fucking phone or something, over radio,
right?
So much communication is getting broken down. There's a lot more confusion. It's just causing a lot more inefficiencies along the whole thing. And yeah, after April 28th, a few days later, everything went out again. Control and the biggest upset. So I spent a lot of time last night actually on the air traffic controller subreddit.
Ooh, is that just a mess right now?
It's not a mess, dude. As someone who frequents the flying and airplanes and flight simulator subreddits, air traffic control dorks are major dorks.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that, you know, in as much as people play flying simulators, there's people who get off on doing the air traffic control simulating.
That is a level of dork I didn't know existed. Yeah,
my friend, I know. Hey gang, we want to take a quick break to thank one of our sponsors. It's Ridge Wallets. You know, sometimes you just gotta get a new dang wallet because yours is so bulky and fat and you've got too much stuff in there. So why don't you chill out on that? And
I was that guy.
I was that guy. It hurts. You're sitting on it. You're like, God dang, man. There's got to be a better way. I'm lugging around a dang cinder block. It's uncomfortable, frankly.
Yeah. You're using a bulky, overstuffed, falling apart wallet.
Yeah. That's where Ridge wallets come in. They are ultra slim, effortlessly sleek, and surprisingly spacious. It holds up to 12 cards plus cash, all without turning your pockets into a lumpy mess. It slips right into your front pocket and practically disappears. Don't let the slim profile fool you. This thing is tough, man.
Crafted from premium materials like titanium and carbon fiber, it's built to handle whatever life throws at it. Plus, it comes with built-in RFID blocking tech to keep your card info safe from digital pickpockets. Do not go out vulnerable, okay? You need a Ridge. Ridge is so confident in their quality, they offer a lifetime warranty. It's literally the last wallet you will ever have to buy.
They're having a crazy sale right now, man. You get up to 40% off your order by going to ridge.com/bays. With over 50 colors and styles, Ridge Wallet isn't just functional, it's personal. Whether you want sleek, black forged carbon fiber like I've got, a wallet that features your favorite NFL team, or one that just matches your vibe, they've got you covered. With the Ridge AirTag attachment, you'll always know exactly where your wallet is before panic mode sets in. And it isn't just about wallets.
Yeah, don't get it twisted, okay?
No.
Because they've got premium everyday carry essentials like key cases, suitcases, and rings, all built with the same sleek, durable design. No matter what you pick, Ridge has free shipping, a 99-day risk-free trial, and a lifetime warranty on all products.
Right now, Ridge is having their huge Memorial Day sale. Get up to 40% off at ridge.com/bays. Just head to ridge.com/BAES to see their biggest sale of the year. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. So please support our show and tell them we sent you. They got that puzzle piece bumper sticker on the back of their car. If you know what I'm
but
talking
also hearing this, I mean, we're going to get to it, but Sean Duffy with all these staffing shortages, I mean, there's people doing it for free. Let's get these.
Yeah.
We got to get these guys
We
in
got to get these
Philadelphia.
guys in there. We got to fast track them. But so when the FAA had this genius idea to move Newark's control operations to Philadelphia, apparently controllers they were hardly so much as briefed on these new changes, the radical changes in the way things were going to work and how they were going to communicate. One controller even said, quote, "Our staffing is in dire straits. It's awful, not safe or efficient in any way. It's a crisis and the public doesn't know about it. It's happening here at Newark and nobody wants to pay attention until lives are lost." Yeah.
I mean, I think that is watching all of these, there's been a lot of Trump administration officials obviously talking about how this is a Biden problem that they inherited.
And it comes to,
well,
it's a little bit true.
Well, I don't think that this all just popped up in the Trump administration. I think that's very silly to even talk about that. It's probably from before even Biden's time. It's just they've refused to update all of this stuff, but that's what it feels like. As long as people aren't dying, then fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of these people are really interested in governing in careful ways and making sure that this stuff is safe for people. And so now we have to deal with this absolute mess.
There was another incident involving 2 small planes 2 weeks ago, and another controller filed a report and said,
"Was that the one in DC?"
It may have been. This was just off of that subreddit. There was an article, but this controller filed a report and said, quote, "The situation has been and continues to be unsafe, and it is only a matter of time until a lot of people die. The equipment is unsafe to use and unusable, both communications and radar. The amount of stress we are under is insurmountable." So the FAA, in the meantime, is reducing flights in and out of Newark, which that doesn't say very much, because the problem is the rot that is the infrastructure that makes up the entire system. So let's talk about that system, shall we? Last year, 3/4 of the FAA's 138 air traffic control systems were either obsolete or too difficult to maintain due to lack of funding, old technology, and staffing issues. For example, there was a FedEx flight that overshot Newark in November. It went over the river, entered into LaGuardia airspace, and due to the radio cutoff that occurred, they were just like, doo-doo-doo, I guess we're just going to keep going this way. And it was later discovered, this fucking blew my mind. It was a component in a New York facility that had gone bad just hours after it had reached it. Well, no, sorry. It had reached the end of its life cycle, and it was due to be replaced a couple hours before it failed. So, like, what are the odds of that? Hey, it's due to be replaced, and then just a couple hours before, it fucking failed. That incident led to more staff taking leave. It's just, these stressful things happen, then staff takes leave, and then they've got even more people staffed, and then it's just this vicious cycle of systems failing. These systems apparently date back to the 1950s. They're composed of copper wires that need to be replaced with fiber optics, and every week there are 700 communications outages across the entire system. Good stuff. Good vibes.
Yeah, I mean, apparently the Biden administration asked Congress to appropriate funds for updating all this stuff. It went ignored, and so we're just constantly kicking the can down the road on this. Now you have Sean Duffy stepping up to say, we're gonna. Although it is funny, we're not gonna play the whole clip. There's no sense playing the whole clip. It's kind of long, but apparently people have the audio of him saying, "My wife was flying out of Newark tomorrow. I switched her flight to LaGuardia because he just has zero confidence in the airport." So there you have. He doesn't want to let his family fly in and out of that airport.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared. June 20th is fast approaching, and
Just switch it.
I'll fuck to what? JFK?
Yeah,
I guess. Fucking shit. Fuck it. I'll roll the dice, man. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, right?
I don't know. I'd be sweating that whole trip of
I
just.
feel like, all right, I hope these pilots are paying attention. It's funny, the CEO of United put out a statement.
Yeah, because United has, I think they're probably the biggest airline out of there.
Yeah.
They have tons of flights coming in and out of. They've already reduced it a bunch, but I mean, it's just going to be a mess. I think every airline out of there has seen a reduction in their flights out of there.
I saw it on that ATC subreddit, and they were all pissed off and shit talking that statement. Very entertaining.
What, the United?
Yeah.
Yeah.
United CEO. Those 138 air traffic control systems manage 45,000 commercial, private, and military flights every day. The FAA has just over 10,700 controllers, but it's about 3,000 short of their target of how many that they need to have on staff. Many of these air traffic controllers are working 10-hour days, 6 days a week. Another problem they've got is that over 500 of them are currently eligible for retirement because you're eligible after 25 years of working.
Or aren't they like forced retirement?
Or you're mandatorily required at age 56 to retire. Air traffic controllers, like we said, are getting...
I didn't know it was this stressful.
Oh, yeah. Dude. So stressful.
I just didn't really... It's not something... I'm not on the ATC subreddit.
You should download... I remember there was an air traffic control game on the iPhone where you've got to direct... You've got to like direct their flight path, and then it'll follow exactly what you put until you change it, unless you change it. And there's helicopters coming in and stuff, and you got to... And just
it sounds like hell.
As you level up, more and more shit comes in.
I already saw, I mean, because, I was looking at articles from like the New York Times, Financial Times, and then I was looking through the comments on the Wall Street Journal, and there were so many people being like, why isn't AI already doing this? And I was just like, no, that seems like the worst.
I don't want
plan.
AI. No. I knew a guy who was an air traffic controller. My dad's friend Jim, when he was giving my brother and I surf lessons, he was doing group surf lessons. And one of them was this Asian guy named Steve. And Steve was probably like 45, and he was an air traffic controller. And he was the nicest guy, but he had the most nervous, chronic laugh. Hey, how's it going? He's just always laughing. Yeah, God bless him. I don't know where he worked out of. It must have either been LAX or Orange County. But yeah, what's really fucked up to me... I
think just in my mind, it's like, everyone's like, don't worry about it. Flying is so safe, you know? And in my mind, I'm like, it's all just smooth. They're talking and they're going, it's all just a bunch of clear for landing. You're all good. Get in there. Okay, great. You're next.
Yeah.
In my mind, everything's just running smoothly. Obviously, the past couple of years have... really changed my view on flying. The Boeing mess we've covered extensively, and now this air traffic control situation and the the DC flight back in January. It's definitely like maybe it's a little bit more complicated.
I mean, my hope is that in light of all of that happening, everybody's really extra cautious now. Kind of like flying right after 9/11. You're just like, oh, it's the safest time to fly now.
I guess, but if you're radio and radar technology just cuts out.
Yeah. You do need Yeah, there was one incident I was reading about.
The transcripts of just like them coming back online and like scrambling like, hey, look, like take this down in case we lose communication again.
Is anybody there? Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Fuck. If anybody can hear us. Yeah, it's really... There was one incident I read about recently where due to the fact that the LaGuardia controllers are now in Philly, or Newark controllers are now in Philly, and LaGuardia is where they are, and they're no longer in the same facility. Both of those controllers were having flights do holding patterns in like the same airspace to avoid storms.
Yeah.
And one guy was like, yeah, it's a miracle that nobody crashed because of that. Like mid-air collisions.
Yeah, they have the maps of all the people just like driving in circles, and you're like, holy fucking shit.
Hey, gang, we got to take another quick break to thank Goodr. Goodr!
I've been wearing my Goodrs every time I play tennis, and they do not disappoint. Okay, you might be skeptical. You might be saying stylish sunnies starting at only $25 a pair.
I don't believe it.
Well, believe it. Okay, because these things are quality. They're blocking out the sun. I'm seeing the tennis ball better than I've ever seen it in my life. Okay,
They got a 1-year warranty, 30-day free returns, lightweight and comfortable. They're 100% polarized, no slip, no bounce. They got vibrant colors and sleek styles. There's a pair of Goodrs for every personality, even one as weird as my co-host here. They're designed for both everyday wear and active individuals.
I can vouch. I got multiple pairs of these things, different styles. There really is no slip, no bounce. And with some of these, you're getting full view where you're looking. It's great.
And because they're so affordable, you don't have to worry about losing or breaking them. You can have a pair for every occasion. So if you need a new pair of sunnies, Goodr is giving Ben and Emil Show listeners free shipping. You can go to goodr.com/Baze and use code BAZE for free shipping. Goodr offers a 30-day money-back guarantee and 100% satisfaction. Again, that's Goodr, GOODR.com/Baze, and use code BAZE for free shipping. Yeah. Well, so one extra fucked up thing. Have you been watching the rehearsal?
Yes.
So for don't worry, no spoilers. But in this latest episode of the rehearsal, there's a lot of talk about how pilots can't pursue mental health
help without being put on some kind of leave. Because of,
being permanently grounded because they're not allowed to be. They're not allowed to be
because it's some
sad.
kind of indication of, oh, well, maybe he's mentally unfit.
Yeah.
Which is obviously a very silly conundrum. I feel a bit unwell, but I can't seek any treatment for it because it means that
they'll take away my medical.
I'm not fit to fly.
Yeah. And the same thing goes for air traffic control. So many of these guys and girls or gals. I shouldn't say girls. It's not. So many of these boys and girls, so many of these people, thank you, are so stressed out and they're having such mental health problems. But if they reach out for any kind of help, they're putting their jobs at risk. I learned that they are also not allowed to be on SSRIs at all, even if
that's good. I like my air traffic controller just white knuckling depression.
Even if their depression or their symptoms that led them to need SSRIs have nothing to do with their jobs. And even then, it can take up to a year for them to get approval for those things. So it's just really fucked up all around. And like you said, the funding for the fixes under the Biden administration stalled in Congress. But good news, Sean Duffy's got a plan.
Sean Duffy's on it.
He's offering 20% bonuses for retirement-eligible controllers to stay, a 30% pay boost to $23 an hour for students. And just as a fun fact, entry level for air traffic controllers is $47K a year, but the median pay is $145,000. Obviously, I want them to fix this as soon as possible. I'm just a bit confused on a lot of this. From that same New York Times article about the staffing issue, it says, at best, it could take a year to train controllers relocating to the facility in Philadelphia. The Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said at Monday news conference, the average time to certify a controller for such complicated airspace is 2.5 years. I mean, how the hell are we going to... We need them now. Mm-hmm. And then, so he said, it takes them a long time to train up. So we don't have the ability to just snap our fingers and move controllers around. I mean, I just have... Not to mention you have dropouts. People drop out.
Retirements. You also can't forget that Doge impacted this stuff as well. It's unclear who and what their positions were, but I'm pretty sure federal aviation people were sacked during that. And they say none of them were like safety people, but I think if you ask aviation people, they'll say like, look, no matter if they were strictly there for safety, I mean, they're affecting the way our administration runs, and it's going to have an impact.
And then a bunch of them received that, hey, if you quit now, we'll give you 6 months severance pay. But then there was some confusion because then those employees were told that doesn't apply to you because your jobs are too important for us to give you a bonus if you retire early.
Hey, you got all these tech guys who are slobbering to be a part of the administration. Why don't you get them on it? You know?
Maybe they are. That's what I'm hoping will happen, because Sean Duffy's calling for a complete overhaul of the system, which would cost $20 to $40 billion, which entails new fiber optic lines, wireless and satellite tech, new modern hardware and software, replacing 618 old radars, and building 6 new air traffic control centers and replacing towers. Hopefully to be done in 3 to 4 years. But, so that made me feel real good. Except, when you go on the Department of Transportation's website, and you look at the latest release just from, I believe it was May 8th, and you look at this whole plan, they have nobody that they are, no contractors, no companies whatsoever that they are soliciting bids from to even get started on all this. It's basically just they have a plan to have a plan.
Sure. I mean,
Great.
That's the thing. Like,
awesome.
So much of what Trump ran on and his messaging is and stuff is basically like the destruction of the administrative state, and it's just
this is what you get.
I don't think, and I really, it's easy to fucking destroy stuff, right? It's easy to be Elon Musk and create your little team of 20-year-olds who are just firing people and making a mess for everyone. It's so much harder to build this stuff and implement all this stuff, and I really don't think these people have any real interest in governing. And like, governing is just so boring, and all they want to do is talk about like waste, fraud, and whatever. But it just takes an immense amount of staff. You want to have air travel be readily available for all these people. Well, that's a tremendous task that takes all these things.
You need the government to do that.
But all you want to do is like go out there and talk about how like Biden fucks you, whatever. I guess like that's going to play well for your
fine. Give it to sure.
Yeah.
Biden,
But
L for Biden. Now fix the
fix
problem.
it.
You're the one in charge now.
Quit talking about Buttigieg.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I care about what's happening right here, right now. Like you said, why is there a staffing shortage? And it's a problem that's been plaguing the FAA for a long time, because they have such high standards, because it does take such a long time to train people. People do drop out.
I mean, underfunding.
It's a hard job.
Yeah.
Underfunding, being underpaid, everything. Think of a reason, and that's why. And it's not actually, contrary to what Trump would have you believe about the previous instances of accidents. It has nothing to do with DEI, because the hiring requirements are just as stringent as they've ever been. And it's not like they're going, oh, but you're a black guy? Come on in, direct some airplanes, direct some air traffic.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about those tests. Come on in.
Yeah, you're queer?
You're
in
hired.
Here.
Get in here.
Get in here. And the FAA is also doing what it can in the meantime. They are examining the design of routes around busy airports after the crash in D.C. in January. And they're enforcing rules like what should have been done in D.C., wherein you had one controller controlling helicopter traffic and commercial air traffic, which was a big no-no. Did you hear about the controller that punched another one in D.C. recently? They were arguing about exactly that. I guess one controller was going, do your fucking job. You're supposed to be directing the helicopters. I'm going to handle the airplanes. And the other guy was going, no, fuck you. Do both or something. And then there was a skirmish and the police were called. So that's fun.
You ever seen Pushing Tin?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Seems like a stressful job in that movie, right?
Mm-hmm. But that was more about the sex, I think.
Everybody knows that. Maybe that was propaganda. We need another movie like that.
We need remake Pushing Tin.
See, now if I'm Sean Duffy, I'm calling up the bigwigs in Hollywood and I'm saying, we need a movie about how sexy air traffic control can be. We need another.
I bet we have the data. How many people signed up to be a air traffic controller after they saw
John Cusack?
John Cusack.
Probably not. I doubt that many.
Okay,
I considered it.
We crunched the numbers. It turns out it didn't move the needle.
I considered it when I was surfing with Steve. Jim was like, you should get into air traffic control. It only takes a couple of years and you make a lot of money. But then I saw that they'll just stick you wherever they want, wherever you're needed, and I was like, I ain't gonna do that.
Philadelphia.
Also, I'd be way too stressed, man.
I would just be telling them every time that I got stressed and I need my 45 days off.
I'm too stressed out
I got
today.
pretty stressed.
Yeah.
I got pretty stressed today.
I need 45 days off. Sorry. That's the maximum. And then you come back day one, you're like, man, today's stressful.
Hey, boss, can we talk again?
Yeah.
I got real stressed today.
So this is from the ATC subreddit. And it's just, this message. Thank you for your loyalty as a United Mileage Plus member. The past few weeks of headlines have put the United States air traffic control system in the spotlight. Our hardworking air traffic controllers clearly need more staff and better technology. And the good news is that the FAA has a plan to make that happen. But despite these challenges and constraints, there are many procedures in place to ensure your safety when you fly with us. As you can see in this video from United Captain Miles Morgan, every United pilot is trained for a wide range of potential issues, including radar communications outages. The truth is that all the flights in and out of Newark are absolutely safe. When there are FAA issues such as technology outages or staffing shortages, the FAA requires all airlines to fly fewer aircraft to maintain the highest level of safety. In short, neither the FAA nor United will ever compromise on safety. That's not fucking true. Sincerely, Scott Kirby. He just signed it, Scott. Now let's go.
I am worried that something bad will happen.
With all due respect to pilots, this skirts the Newark issues at hand and does not reassure. So let's read some of these comments. As I currently sit in Newark to operate out with a different airline, that message is, I guess, reassuring for an uneducated, easily shaken passenger. But for pilots, air traffic controllers, and seasoned travelers, there's a disaster in the making, and we know the risk. But hearing CEOs talk about threat mitigation when honestly there isn't any true plan is deceptive and foolhardy. We can smell the bullshit. I mean, scrolling through this, it's so many people just going like, yeah, keep going.
That is nice that, wait, sorry, go back up to that first one. I like this little, rest assured though, us pilots as well as you controllers bring our A game to the New York sector. So we got this. At least they're going to be doing their best.
I like when he says, whomever may be working, talk to you in a few hours. That's kind of cool.
And then the comment, maybe, if the radios work.
And then he said, just hit me with the light gun. Okay, so scroll down. This video was for passengers who don't know any better, not us professionals. Wish I could see the internal memos at United, though. See who at the FAA needs a direct route between Newark and Columbia to get this fixed. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just and that message would have worked on me. I would have been like, passengers would be well advised. Passengers would be well advised to avoid Newark until there's been a long period of no further issues. Passengers absolutely should be concerned. Somehow, taking the word of the guy trying to protect their profits doesn't seem best. Jesus Christ. I like this one. The FAA has a plan. This guy's an ATC controller. The FAA has a plan by working its ATC workforce into the ground. The FAA has about as much of a plan as Dutch van der Linde. Who the hell is that?
I don't know Dutch van der Linde.
Hey, gang, we want to take another quick break to thank a sponsor of our show. It's Moomoo.
Moomoo.
Huge shout out to Glenn. Huge shout out to Moomoo for being the best at what they do. You know, I've come a long way in my trading journey.
That's true.
And Moomoo just has everything that I need and then some, folks. They got charting all right there at my fingertips. I can pinch, I can zoom, I can change my candlesticks from 1 minute to 5 minutes to 15 to 30 to 1 hour to 1 day to 1 week to 1 month to 1 quarter, whatever I need. All my little indicators, everything you could possibly need in the way of charting, got it right there. That's number one. I mean, there's too many to list, honestly, but what's most indispensable to me is the news feature, right? Why am I going to spend $20,000 a year on a Bloomberg terminal when I can get access to advanced single stock analysis through detailed analyst ratings and Morningstar research, plus industry supply chain data that helps you see how companies are interconnected within a sector? That's huge. If I want to look up some company and then I want to see what their competitors are or who their competitors are and things like that, they've got everything that you could possibly need. Options analysis, options trading, fee-free trading. That's the biggest part. You can trade without fees on options and ETFs and everything under the sun. And if you're new to trading or investing and you're a little nervous, you can just play with fake money. They got a paper trading thing for you. So why don't you check it out? And if that's not enough, they got some great first-time user bonuses for you.
These are going to knock your socks off, okay? Because Moomoo's got some standout promos going on right now. First up, you can earn up to 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. That's a 4% base APY plus a 4.1% booster for the first 3 months. You can also get up to 60 free stocks with a qualifying deposit, each worth between $2 and $2,000. And if you're transferring from another brokerage, Moomoo offers a 3% match up to $600. Stack all that up against other platforms, and yeah, it's definitely worth a look.
So join the over 25 million users worldwide who are already on Moomoo and click the link in the description or use code BAYS60 to jumpstart your investing journey today with up to 60 free stocks when making a qualified deposit. Plus, if you're already a trader and want to graduate to a more sophisticated platform, transfer your portfolio to Moomoo and earn up to $600 in cash rewards. So click the link in the description or use code BAYS60 to take advantage of these awesome promos and experience the power of Moomoo. Yeah.
I mean, that's another concern so they're trying to get all these people in. Oh, it's a video game character.
Oh,
Jesus
Dead
Christ.
Redemption. All right, go on.
They're just, they're talking about this non-existent staff that they're going to be able to get ready way quicker than usual.
Yeah.
But by the time that even happens, there's this fear that everyone will have been worked to the bone and just gone on their 45 vacation or worse, just saying, you know what, fuck this.
Fuck it. Give me a sleepy head. I want a sleepy head controlling my ATC. I like this. FAA compromises on safety all the time. I've seen it happen 4 times this year with major weather. Stop departures for 30 minutes and wait for it to clear? Nope. Just launch them into congested airspace with no in-trail and no plan. What a mess. So that's fun. That's fun. So folks, if you're scared, just don't fly unless you absolutely have to. That's what I've got to say.
I mean, yeah, I think it's just
it's just a bummer.
This is all just a bummer. I mean, things just used to work in this country, and I feel like we're going to see a lot more of this, of things just
failing,
stopping working. Yeah.
What do you think will fail next? 911? 911 already sucks in this town.
I mean, you could just feel it we've been traveling so much now, and it's like pretty much like every flight I've got, even just back from Austin, just like, before we even get to the airport, like, your flight's delayed.
Oh, yeah.
Why? For fucking what?
Well, because sometimes planes are late.
And then just like 3 more delays.
Yeah.
And it just seems like this is going to be the norm from now on.
Guess what, fucker? Your flight's delayed again. Sorry. Also, you have to check your bag at the... By the way, I have a public service announcement. The overhead bin space is for rolly backpacks only. If
Did
you have
rolly backpacks?
rolly suitcases,
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
is for your suitcase. If it can't fit under the chair in front of you, then it goes in the overhead bin. I saw so many fucking people with just their little, I just got to put my little backpack up
I was so tempted when we were walking onto the plane to be like, just pulling them off and say, whose is this one?
Yeah.
Put it under your fucking seat.
Yeah.
Whose is this one?
Grow up. That's because we were zone 8 out of zone 9.
Yeah,
out of 9
sure,
zones.
it happens to us.
I don't know why they call it zone instead of group, by the way. Oh, Delta needs their own cool language. Zone 8. Shut the fuck up. It's group. We're group 8. And they said, there's no more room in the overhead bin, so you're going to have to check it at the gate. And I said, okay, fucker. And so we had to check our bags. And then sure enough, we get on the plane. There's plenty of overhead space in those bins. Plenty of space. Not only was there plenty of open space, there was plenty of existing space taken by fucking backpacks. Should have just fucking taken them out. We both should have done it.
I know. We should have done
it.
And the flight attendants try to stop us, and we say, shut up. Shut up for us. We're
shut
doing
up.
something. We're doing something.
Yeah. There was one
Raise
guy.
your hand if you put a backpack in the overhead bin.
There was one man who was putting his
We've got a fake
entire
grenade we're
family's...
holding. Raise your fucking hand.
There was one guy who was putting his entire family's little backpacks up in the bins. He was stopped. His little kid's little fucking rinky dink backpack, just putting it up there, plunk, plunk. I'm like, sir, your kid's feet can't even fucking reach in front of his little seat.
The whole thing is just frustrating. As Americans are so, they have no collective spirit. It's completely individualistic. So they like we can't act in concert for any kind of greater purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all just It's like, that's my bin and I need to fucking use it however I see fit. Even just
That's my toilet. I'm going to piss.
even just walking through the Austin airport, it made me just long for Japan, where they like.
What was happening in the airport?
You guys were sitting down, so I went to just go walk around and see if there was anything I could eat. And dude, it's a big, wide fucking thing. There would be so many people though walking in the same direction, basically just like lined up, walking at me. And I don't even have my bag or anything because I left it with you. And I'm like, I'm a skinny guy and I can't. How can I break through this wall of people? It's like, how did you guys line up like this together?
Yeah.
It's just fucking insane.
Yeah,
and people are just like, this is my fucking space. This is where I walk.
Man, though. Oh yeah, can't wait for that video to come out. We shot guns. That's one of the many highlights. We also rode a mechanical something.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to see.
But look, back to is it safe to fly? There's one more thing. This came across my. Obviously, there's been a lot of very weird things going on with the Trump administration, and them almost kind of testing their ability to deport people if they don't like what they say, and a lot of it's been with immigrants, and people have obviously been saying like they're testing to see what they can get away with, and it's going to start coming to American citizens next. And there have been some alarming it's anecdotal evidence at this point, but I do want to I think it's real. It definitely happened. And the first one that I saw was Nikki Glaser
talking about Jenna Friedman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which it's definitely, it's been one of my, I was like, I think I said it to Sarah. I was like, I wonder who the first like popular media personality will be who gets some kind of like detention.
Probably going to be me. Honestly, it's probably going to be me.
As people,
but unrelated to Trump, it's just because I stink so bad. They're going to be like, "You stink. You're not allowed in the country." PU, get out. Turn around.
CBP's like, dude, what the fuck?
What the fuck? Did this guy shit his pants? And I'm sitting there going, "Oh no, dang it!" I walk away. Sounds like SpongeBob.
You try to release a video from detention, and you're like, "I'm being singled out by the Trump administration." You just have shit all over you. Everyone's going, "Wait a second! Don't let that guy in."
I was just in Canada where you can say things on stage about someone, and they are on board. It is, dude, it's wild because I have a fairly liberal fan base, but it's actually it's more mixed than I would have thought. And I don't like to, no matter what your beliefs are, how much I disagree or loathe them, you're paying money to come see me. I'm not going to be like, what you did was stupid.
All right, yeah, try to skip ahead a little bit. Basically, she's saying that she went to Canada and she was having a really good time with the Trump jokes and they were like eating it up. So she kept going in on the Trump stuff. And then she started to realize, oh, wait, I'm going to have to get into the country and maybe I should cool out on the Trump stuff because I don't know, things have been getting so crazy. And then she talks about this story where
gets reported and sent out, like I could maybe not get let back into the country.
Okay, so stop it though. But so she says she was just scared that would happen, but it didn't happen.
Yes, but she talks about
Jenna Friedman. It did happen.
So
still got let into the country.
Wait. Play. I want to hear her talk about the Jenna Friedman thing.
Literally, I had a friend, Jenna Friedman, who just posted on Instagram, comedian, that she was performing in Vancouver, and when she came back to America, in customs asked, "What do you do?" She said she's a comedian. They said, "Do you talk about politics in your set, and do you make fun of the president?" And she said she answered truthfully, which I think is yes for her. And they didn't take her. They let her go, but they asked. Right? They asked, and that just is. I'm not trying to be an alarmist, but I definitely don't think that I am immune to having some kind of backlash or that I couldn't be put on some kind of list because of some story I reposted that was,
it definitely is alarming that they're asking this question to media personalities. You don't seem worried about it at all.
Call me a skeptic, but I wonder if it's two things. I wonder if it was the officer just being like, "Oh, you're a comedian? Do you talk about politics and all? You make fun of the president?" And then she took it back and was like, "I'm gonna make myself into some kind of hero for being
that
so
seems like
bold."
a really generous read, especially from some of these stories we've heard. It's some pretty horrifying stories coming out of
that TikToker.
immigration, and from what I've heard is that like some really awful stuff of like Trump's back in power, like we're doing whatever we want. Also, just like that the authority structure has changed, where like a lot of these guys are not held accountable to anyone, and they're just kind of doing whatever they want.
Power tripping, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously people have probably seen online, the big one is that Hassan Piker was stopped at the border.
He
probably
just put out a whole video about it.
Yeah, this one's quick. I think this is only like a minute long. He just describes a little bit of his...
Does he gesture with his hands in this video?
From the screen grab, it looks like he might.
Who the fuck I was, but he was basically like, he always made it seem as though he was asking certain things that after discovering in the process of that conversation, he would ask additional questions. So he kept saying, "What do you do as a job? Do you talk about the news?" And I was like, "Yeah, I talk about the news." And he kept saying, "Okay, so when you talk about the news, do you talk about the war?" And I was like, "What do you mean by that?" He's like, "Do you talk about Trump?" And that was the first time where I was like, what the fuck is this question? Like, I literally straight up told him, I was like, "Why are you asking me this?" Like, I was like, what does this have to do with anything? Yeah, they asked me about my fucking Twitch bans, chat. It's not even a joke. They asked me about fucking Twitch chat, like Twitch bans. The reason for why they're doing that is, I think, to try to create an environment of fear, to try to get people like myself, or at least like others that would be in my shoes that don't have that same level of security, to shut the fuck up. And for me, I'm going to use the privilege that I have in that moment to try and see what the fuck they're doing. Okay?
I mean, it certainly tracks and is on par with whenever Trump talks to any kind of major media interviewer or something, when they've been at all critical of him, he famously says that they're unfair or that they're biased or that they are so full of... I think ABC News just asked him about a really direct, just like, "Hey, do you think that this is any kind of conflict of interest, you receiving this plane from Qatar?" And he said, like, "What a fucking stupid, shameful, that's really embarrassing for you to ask that." And it's like, whatever you feel about that part aside, it's a good question to ask the president about, but because they've been critical of you before. Hey, gang, we got to take one last quick break to thank Factor. You know I love Factor, man.
We know he loves Factor.
You know why? Because I'm a lazy guy.
You're a guy on the run. You're a guy on the go.
I'm a man on the run.
But he also enjoys to eat healthy.
I also enjoy eating healthy and delicious. I like to eat delicious and I like to eat healthy, So, folks, 2-minute meals from Factor. Eating well has never been this easy. You just heat them up and enjoy. You don't have to cook anything. You don't have to think. You don't got to put a bunch of ingredients together.
Take your life back, all right?
Get
outside instead of prepping and cooking indoors. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any active lifestyle, even if it's active as this boy.
Yeah, they got 45 weekly menu options. You can pick gourmet meals that fit your goals. Choose from Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Factor powers your day with satisfying breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts.
It's easy to savor more this spring. Factor meals pack in the flavor with none of the fuss.
Get started at factormeals.com/BAYS50OFF and use code BAYS50OFF to get, you guessed it, 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code BAYS50OFF at factormeals.com/BAYS50OFF for 50% off plus free shipping. Yeah, so
But both of these situations seem like they are. I'm sure these are two people who have left the country before, and this feels very different to them.
Oh yeah,
and that especially, it's a much longer there's a much longer clip of him describing all of the things they're asking, which are very specific things about stuff he's talked about. And I mean, we've talked about some of these Palantir and Shadow Dragon and all these like weird AI systems that immigration is using in creating these profiles of people. It definitely feels like a scary kind of new era where they're now asking American citizens kind of where their
loyalties.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was also
there's another one.
A girl we don't need to pull it up because it's just a long article, but this girl's a TikTok creator, and she runs a clothing company or something that says like fuck Trump on the shirts, and she said she got detained for quite a while. I did see Homeland Security, just take it with a grain of salt, I'm just stating as a fact what they did. They tweeted in response to her and said, this is not out of the ordinary. We detain people thousands of times every day, and we released her, but still it's back with what Hassan said of like, I think the point here is to instill fear and uncertainty in people.
Yes, also, but the very specific thing about like them very quickly knowing about like his
because they go through your phone. They're allowed to go through your phone. That's like the rule at Customs and Border Patrol. Legally is like, give me your phone.
I thought they knew before they even took his phone about
Probably.
like his Twitch bans. Yeah, it's just crazy how much stuff they know about people before you even get up there. They knew about specific people he had interviewed. They knew about all of this different stuff. I mean, it doesn't feel good knowing that I've probably posted things in a similar vein to the internet that probably have...
Just wear a MAGA hat when you go to...
Hello, boys.
Hello, guys.
That have probably created a similar...
Stir?
Flag. I mean, it's just like I'm not thrilled about any of this. I think it definitely is going... What was that?
I had something sticky on my fingers.
Ew.
And I was saying, I think it's grease from the mic arm. So smelling your fingers is gross.
There was just something weird about seeing you kind of go like, what the fuck is that? But yeah, it just doesn't inspire confidence in the way all of this is going.
Speaking of confidence,
and the people anyone who's like gleeful about this shit is just like,
you're
the fuck out of it. You want to live in America where like you want to live in a fucking show your papers country? You want to have to like prove your allegiance to Donald Trump to some fucking sicko at customs?
It's all people like that guy and his sister whose podcast is they're interviewing their boomer parents. And the dad is such a scumbag, lead poison brained piece of shit. If
you don't have anything to hide, what's the big deal?
No, they had a.
I don't know what podcast you're talking about.
It's called like The Conversation or something, or We Need to Talk or something like that. And it's this guy interviewing his boomer dad, and he's the most stubborn asshole. They had a segment just recently where people send in questions for the family, and the question was, what makes a news source trustworthy? And he goes, Mom, Dad, do you want to ask? And the dad goes, he didn't address it to me, so I'm not going to answer. And it's like, you're already so fucking stubborn. So they play the clip again. The guy does address the dad. And then he just says, Newsmax. I trust Newsmax 100%. They're the only one you can trust. And it's just seeing that guy just is, you realize that there's a whole country of those guys.
I mean, when I went to a wedding with some MAGA people, and it always like at least is eye opening a little bit of like trying to talk about it in any way, and because there was definitely some like anyone who was deported was either like if they were Central American or South American, it was because they were a gang member, and if they were a college student, it was because they were a terrorist. And I remember just being like, "Whoa!" Like for a fact that these people are gang members or terrorists. Like they're
look at them. Well, look at them.
And it was like, yes, 100%. And I was like, well, like let's just like pick one. We'll look up the evidence that they're a whatever.
You sound gay now. Are you gay?
And like literally, I'd be like, okay, well, like let me pull up what you're talking about.
Let me pull up.
And I'd show them stuff, and they're like, and I'd say like, does that sound like they're a gang member or a terrorist? And they would just go,
Fuck you.
No, they said, I'm not even listening. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm an idiot. I don't know why
I would get into a similar thing during the first Trump thing administration. A good friend of mine would start to like challenge things and ask stuff, and then when I would push back and provide evidence, he'd go, I don't want to talk about politics, man. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And you just hear, I mean, just the table I was sitting at, it was like,
boy, your friends must hate you to stick you at a table like that, knowing that you'd have to deal with those folks.
I mean, I think I was the odd one out there. I don't think it was it wasn't a friend. It
wasn't a lib fest.
It was a family
gotcha.
thing, and it was not. I don't think there was a lot of people.
Well, so the other big controversy, of course, is that the Qatar.
We got some more planes, baby.
Qatar's royal family is in. I was trying to understand the what's going on here, but they've offered.
I think here's the thing.
What?
We got to stop trying to understand because it's gonna make us crazy.
Well, not that. It's like
we gotta
the
be
rules
like,
and stuff.
We got to be like Andrew Schultz. We got to be like,
hey,
okay,
does he like pussy or not? Do you like pussy?
Hey, we got to be like, it's sick that he gets pussy and it says fucked up stuff.
Yeah.
And also, he got a cool ass plane. So, like, that's my guy.
Yeah. There you go. You nailed it.
Now I feel less crazy.
I did not know this, that both Air Force One 747s have been in service since 1990.
And I am shocked that Ben didn't know a plane fact.
I thought that there was a newer one that had been. Maybe
that is crazy.
Maybe it's just because it had been retrofitted.
That is crazy that they're 35 years old.
And they are expensive to maintain. They take a long time to maintain.
And Boeing's in charge of it.
And Boeing's in charge of it. Incidentally, the Trump company just announced plans for a $1 billion resort and golf course in Qatar. Is it Qatar? It's Qatar.
Mm-hmm, Qatar.
But anyway, and they offered the technically it's the Department of Defense.
Yes, come on.
They offered the Department
Trump
of
would
Defense
never take that.
a $400 million $747 -800, which begs the question also, why is they giving up that plane? Probably because it's expensive as fuck to maintain.
Not only is it for the Department of Defense, but then after his term is up, it's going to go to the Trump Presidential Library.
Yeah.
So if you think there's any kind of impropriety going on, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Also, I love that no other president gets to use it. If Trump does not get in there for the third term, whatever. We see if it's President J.D. Vance, sorry, pal. You get to use the 1990 Air Force One.
But it's classic.
That's going to be at the library.
I think this fully encapsulates Trump and Trumpism. Is they're offering it to him for free, to the Trump administration for free. So he gets to go on TV and stuff and say, they're giving it to me for free. I would be an idiot to refuse. And anybody who says they wouldn't take a free plane is lying and all this shit. And on its face, so here's his truth. So the fact that the Defense Department is getting a gift free of charge of a 747 aircraft to replace the 40-year-old Air Force One temporarily in a very public and transparent transaction so bothers the crooked Democrats that they insist we pay top dollar for the plane. Anybody can do that. The Dems are world-class losers, my God. So
this is the problem with it all, too.
It's going to cost money to retrofit. They're going to have to strip it down to the nuts and bolts, not only to ensure that the plane is secure from any kind of like spyware or stuff, but they've got to do that anyway to make sure that it's up to the standards of safety and protection for the president, which would cost tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars and time. So it doesn't actually get us anything. On its face, it's one of those things. On its face, Trump can say, and all his fans go,
That reminds me. I saw.
All you got to do is look beneath the surface, and it's fraught with problems.
That's basically, I saw this very funny comment on a YouTube video about this Trump joke. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
How many Trump supporters does it take to change a light bulb?
Fuck you, lib.
Zero. Trump tells them it's fixed and they all sit in the dark and cheer. But
That's great. That's a good
I know.
joke.
I was like, wait, I got to tell Ben that on the show.
That's a
but
really good
this, as I was talking about before, this like consistency drives me crazy. And I know that's on me. If I'm expecting these people to have any kind of like ideological consistency, I'm the dope. But just because I can do it. I hate the Democrats just as much as you. I think they're fucking feckless cowards. I think they're corrupt, and they're a large part of the reason we're all in this mess. And I can be like, yes, this fucking sucks when, Nancy Pelosi is doing all the insider trading and all this stuff. And if you're one of those people who's like, this Nancy Pelosi insider trading bullshit has got to stop. I hate the Dems. But then you watch this and you go, well, he just can't stop winning. What the fuck?
That's a problem I think is everywhere these days, is that people can't, like I've said, they can't hold two truths in their heads at the same time. And everybody's inconsistent. And it's just a fucking...
Right. If you're picking one of these teams as the one who's going to save you, then we're all just fucked.
know who's going to save you? Yourself. Well, speaking of insider trading, actually, there was
But Trump, he's very... this plane stuff... I could be a stupid person and say, no, we don't want a free, very expensive plane, but I thought it was a great gesture. Have you seen the pictures?
Of the plane?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice, man.
They call it the Palace in the Sky. This thing is...
Yeah, dude. Too bad they're going to have to tear it
Keep scrolling.
apart.
Look at the...
That's the thing,
Oh,
is
look
it
at that
doesn't
thing.
matter what it looks like currently. They're going to have to strip it down. None of that matters. Christ on the effing cross, man.
Yeah, but it sure does look cool.
Sure does look nice.
Imagine hanging out on that thing.
God, imagine being a fucking
Qatari,
Saudi guy and having all that damn money. I'd be you know what I'd be doing? I'd be drifting Toyota Land Cruisers and doing that shit where they ride them on two wheels and shit. I'd have a Tiger. Ugh, look at that thing. Ugh,
I'd be
the queen of the skies. What a beautiful aircraft.
Unbelievable.
Oh, man.
You'd flip for that thing, huh? Imagine
Dude, I would somersault for that. I would absolutely
Imagine
lose
you
my
got
shit.
to take a tour of the Palace of the Sky.
Imagine being a great big fat guy sitting in that big fat guy chair. They got a big fat guy chair.
Come on.
Look at that thing.
I bet Kevin Smith wouldn't be too fat to fly on that thing.
So over the weekend, it was announced that China and America have come to a tentative agreement wherein the United States is going to lower tariffs on Chinese goods to 30% from the 145% that it was originally, and China's going to cut theirs to 10% from 125%. They agreed to keep this up for 90 days until a broader deal can be worked out. And wouldn't you know it, before that deal hit the wires over the weekend, somebody was lucky enough just before the bell on Friday to buy over $1 million worth of short-dated call options on the S&P. You know how much those call options went up in the last 2 days? About 1,600%.
God bless
That
him.
means they turned a little over $1 million into about $16 million. Someone always knows. And sure enough,
I will
I'm
say,
sure
though,
that somebody knew in the Trump administration.
This is very confusing to me, though. I mean, obviously, like the market's loving it. This little China
It's
deal
so
they've
frustrating.
struck.
Yeah.
But am I going crazy, or am
Yeah.
I like this is
What?
he created this problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's still worse than it was before,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just not as bad as it was going to be.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. Yeah.
And everyone's going like,
Because it was a really bad deal for us. They were really screwing us on because there was a trade deficit, and we all know that deficit means that that they were screwing us, which is not how fucking trade deficits work. Or
I
what
mean,
they mean.
it's just still like, yeah. And it's only it's another 90-day pause. We're just like waiting in the wings. I mean, the current tariff rate is projected to reduce U.S.-bound Chinese exports by as much as 36% over the next year, according to Macquarie Group chief China economist Larry Hu. Adriana Kugler,
Macquarie Group chief China economist.
Adriana Kugler, a member of the Fed's Board of Governors, said that she anticipates the scaled-back tariffs will raise prices and stall the economy, but not to the same extent as before. It's just like, I mean, it's the fucking joke. Zero. Trump just tells them it's fixed and they all cheer, sit in the dark. It just...
Yeah, brother. I hear you. And what's funny is if you look at the bond...
And all that that bullshit about fucking you getting your manufacturing job back and a middle class prosperity coming back. No one even talks about it anymore.
No one's talking about
We're
bonds
all
either.
fucking jokes.
Bond rates are going up, and nobody, remember that's what everybody was worried about, brother? And guess what? Those bonds are still dropping like rocks, and those rates are going up, meaning that shit, his plan was to fucking make bonds go up so the yields would go down so they could refinance the debt, and that ain't happening, man.
Art of the deal.
Fart of the poop, because this is all crap.
It's
If you elect a clown, expect a circus. And brother, I smell elephant poop and circus peanuts. It's everywhere.
I'm going crazy. I
Yeah.
don't like watching people cheer this on.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I don't. Just to be still in a worse position.
Yeah, I mean, and then to be going like, and now today he was saying the stocks are probably going to go a lot higher, and he's probably right. We're now within spitting distance of all-time highs. We're back. Let's see, SPY was at 611, and we're now at 587.
I think still on the year we're down.
I mean, barely. We're so close back to all-time highs. What is that? 611 minus 587. We're 24 points from all-time highs, and over just about 100 points off of the
Nothing
lows.
matters. Nothing fucking matters. Nothing
It doesn't matter. Cause I crime or where I go and why. All that matters. So
honestly, just Andrew Schultz your way through it. You know what I mean? I think it's cool. He gets pussy. I think it's cool. He got Palace in the Sky. I think it's cool.
He got Palace in the Sky.
He obviously art of the deal. He told
He
told Xi Jinping to go suck it.
Suck my dick, Xi Jinping.
Fuck me.
And Xi Jinping, looking all Winnie the Pooh, was like smoking his little Chinese Marlboro Reds. Well, Mr. Trump.
We didn't say any of that. We would never call him Winnie the Pooh. The CCP is strong.
I'll say it. CCP, both can be true at the same time. CCP is strong.
And he can look
and
like
he
Winnie
can
the Pooh.
and does look like Winnie the Pooh.
Also, dude, I'm out on fucking. I used to be like, China, hit me up. Let's do some content creation. I'll be paid. Now I'm seeing the way Pam Bondi was paid by Qatar.
How much?
$115,000 a month
To do what?
Consulting.
I'll consult.
That's what I'm
get me in
saying.
there,
I don't want
man.
to work
I'll
with China anymore.
Do you want to make a Cutter? Do you want to make a podcast? I'll teach you how.
Hit the DMs.
Yeah.
Is what we're saying.
I'll take an airplane.
I mean, and there are so many. I forget the other ones now. The Trump administration is full of people who were consulting for Qatar.
I will take.
Also, these guys,
consulting
it's
money.
all over. Whatever. I can't sit here and get crazy about it. What am I going to do? It's going to be a long 3.5 years.
I'm going to DM. I'm going to do pull a reverse Uno and DM these guys and say, "You beautiful princess, you beautiful, so beautiful." That's Indian guys, but still.
I'm not sure I get the reference, but
Indian guys famous. It's like a meme that they are leaving comments and DMing pretty women and influencers and saying, "Beautiful princess, show titties, show pussy, beautiful princess."
That's what they say?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's show bobs. Yeah, show bobs. Show your bobs.
Well, Qatar,
well, if you're a beautiful princess, show bobs.
Qatar, we'll show Bob's.
Yeah, I will show. I mean, famously, I
$115K
sold foot pics to a guy in Bahrain who was
I want the Pam Bondi deal.
I want the Pam Bondi deal.
Hit me.
Hit him. Let's see. Maybe we push it to the bone.
Yeah, we didn't even get. There's so much shit going on.
There's so much shit.
Always. We didn't even get to it.
Well, we're going to be talking about our favorite moments from the last 100 years, 100 episodes of B&E. B&E, the best show out the internet. The best show to come out of the internet? B&E. Breaking and entering? Meal. What the fuck is this? Oh, show Bobs? Yeah. Asumam Bobs.
Awesome, Bob.
Send me your vegana pic. Hi, are you fucked at night? I want to kiss your vegana. I want to kiss your vegana for 2 hours and then put my 1 foot penis in
1
your
feet
vagana.
penis.
Let's talk about this in the bonus episode because this is too good.
That's kind of how I sext. I want to show me your vagina, and I want to put my 1 feet penis in your vagina.
Speaking of that, we will see you guys there. BenandEmilShow.com. It's going to be a hoot, a real fun one.
We're gonna
7-day trial.
We're gonna hoot and we're gonna holler.
Yeah, I got to pee. Bye.
Bye.
Coming up on this week's episode of Ben and Emil Show.
Ben's top 5 plane crashes. Audio listener, I wish you could
Which
see it.
is a really great graphic.
And then on the back, it's got the plane crashes that I talked about. It's got a Aloha Airlines Flight 243 where the lady got sucked out from the top.
You got a butt
Alaska
suck.
Airlines Flight 261, which I believe was the one that lost control of the rear elevator and went upside down. Really sad. American Airlines Flight 191, which lost its engine and crashed in Texas. Air France Airlines Flight 447, which belly flopped into the ocean. And then China Airlines 006, which I don't believe actually crashed, but came close to crashing and everybody pooped and peed themselves.
Or not. I want you to not know I'm there, and I just want to see you.
You want to observe me?
Telling your date about your anxiety dreams and stuff, and telling them about how you want to suck off a toad but not let it come.
It's not that you don't let it; it's just that it doesn't.
you getting pissed when she doesn't. No, it's
Shit.
not that.
No, I didn't say that I don't allow it to come. Okay, there's a difference between it just not coming and me not allowing.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, what's wrong with you? Don't you listen? I did.
Did you keep leaning over and being like, "That's Tom Cruise"?
This mission is so impossible. This one is so impossible. You don't even understand.
Do you? You seem like the type of guy who might like mansplain movies.
If necessary. Like Terminator 2, you have to explain. See, in the first one, Arnold Schwarzenegger was a bad guy. He was trying to kill Linda Hamilton. But this time, he's a good guy.
Why don't you just let them watch Terminator 1?